Bit of a shaky start between both sides, going back and forward, but a breakout performance from the man right there. Breeze had a big game. Turned up in the first round and didn't stop till the end. NRG do manage to claim map 1, which was Train, but there's still so much more to do. We're going to Cobble next, which is, I guess, a decent map for both. A relatively even arena still, but then Cash looms over. You've got to win this in 2, in my eyes, if you're NRG.
Yeah, I mean, you know NRG are super confident right now. You literally just dumpstered your opponent on their own map pick.
Yeah.
So, again, I think that it was Jacob on the desk who talked about how this is a pretty common map for Red Reserve, and how that it might be a bit of a confident pick from NRG for them to try and contest this. So, yeah, I think Cash is a giant question mark as well. I think that Red Reserve might walk with that. So it's not just that you want the 2-0 start because Cash is scary. You just want to finish this as quick as possible. And seeing as you're now entering your map, this is where you should be able to win it.
Should.
Big should.
We'll find out in a second, though. The teams are just getting themselves prepared, sat back down, all ready to go. And, of course, so are we. We want to see this start up on Cobblestone. Now, we haven't seen that much Cobble. We saw it, obviously, in the last game. We haven't seen that much. So, nice to have it back in play today. Starting to see it come through in those best of 3s. Knife round, of course, to decide which side we start on. And I've got to say, NRG so far have been impressing. I'm hoping we see more of that. I'd love to see a reappearance from ANJ as well. He's been a little quiet today in comparison to what we saw yesterday. He was, you know, he wasn't a big fragger as such. He was more one of those who got the kind of important kills, the crucial kills. Nice combination between him and Peter, who, you know, they need to find a little bit of that. So if that's the case, this could be quite interesting. But again, Red Reserve on this map, we saw on Train. I like some of the T-side approaches, quite simple, quite to the point. Nothing too crazy, but it was crisp when it worked. But then they didn't seem to have the depth to be able to adapt or change.
Yeah, I mean, I was just pretty impressed with their T-side in the sense that they didn't have to go any deeper, that they were able to just keep it simple and work that well. What I have now a giant question mark around is their CT side. The CT side of Cobblestone can just be so difficult, and while they are, you know, definitely comfortable on this map, Train was just very one-sided the moment NRG get on the offense. So if we're able to see that yet again, if we're able to see NRG play off of their team, then maybe they get another convincing win. That was one thing that I think NRG did different in the opening map of this series as opposed to yesterday versus Counterlogic Gaming, is just they had much better team play. Yep. I feel like their executions were just much more smooth. They always seemed to be able to trade effectively. And then even in those hectic, chaotic situations, they always reeled it back. They did not give much room for Red Reserve to run with. And versus CLG, it was the complete opposite. So, yeah. Again, at least we get to see NRG performing as maybe we'd want them to. But
yeah, absolutely. No, I'm with you on that. I want to see a good game, and I want to see a little bit more from Red Reserve as well. I think these guys showed, you know, we saw Rusty going off early on. This guy really has some individual fight in him. No taking away. I want to see more as a collective, right? That's the thing. I want to see a little bit more overall. I want to see these guys finally come into this one and show us what they've got to bring. You don't get people like Michael Ailey in your team if you haven't got something on there. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. It's all about to go down now. 8 seconds till the game starts. T-side will be NRG. CT side Red Reserve. It's time to start this one off. And for Red Reserve's sake, you've got to hope they can make an impact in this one. Otherwise, it's all over.
Kit double flash for Rusty. And NRG already just getting aggressive onto the drop down. Now they do have Peter over towards A, so this could be the split in that direction, and it certainly is. Dap's actually just going to double back, and he has utility to play with, so this could be a nice little set piece, but at least Red Reserve are holding on to long.
This is awkward though, the bomb's about to go down. This means that... How often do you see this? A 5-on-5 plant to A. It doesn't happen, and no one's barely seen each other. They kind of let go on a lot of these things. Rusty with a great shot back on Peter. Unlikely that they hit so cleanly, but they do. Daps now, the next in line in middle. The rest of his team slightly further behind him, playing back from sight. Good work from Daps. Nice timing. Good strike. Can't get out of this alive, surely not. Oh, A&J. Brilliant timing to come back in and keeping Daps alive. Oh, lovely play between NRG, just bounding off each other perfectly. Again, that team play that we start to see emerge on Train is in that moment in and of itself. I mean, Daps getting those 2 frags towards lower ramp, that's crucial.
either of those CTs able to trade out in this moment, well, suddenly they're able to just gear up for the retake, because honestly, Long A was always in the hands of the counter-terrorists. Red Reserve just passively gave up the bomb site and looked for the retake. All they needed was ramp control. They can play off the half wall. They can then start to make it happen. They've got that connector player coming in as well, so a three-pronged assault. But that's not the case. NRG are able to take the pistol and should find the next, unless these forced buys from Red Reserve can work their magic. Freddy Frog posted on the doorway. He's got two teammates next to him, and Michaelelli the third. Both shots go out and neither connect. So now we've got NRG starting to pressure this A site.
There is a stack here, though. There's 3 players in middle. So if Peter goes walking through there without a flash or anything else, only one teammate has a flash, and that's Breeze. Could be in a little bit of trouble, but there you go. They've won out on B. Now, I don't know if they're going to get the feel of this yet, because B is completely open, but they're slow working through A. Going to spot one, and now here comes the pinch. Peter knows he's in trouble, but he sees it all. That's good information passed. Instantly, Breeze turns. He's next in line. Job done. One man gets loose. It's Rusty, but he's being pinched in on every single front. Fugly takes a solo fight and loses out.
MP7 goes dry. He's got to pull back that CZ. Able to get some damage dealt, but not the frag. So NRG gonna convert their first point and should get an easy one as well. Red Reserve just gonna have to be patient and wait for those guns. So NRG just taking that momentum that they finished train with and running away already with this one. Of course, this is gonna be a really good chance for Daps and Peter to make that extra cash flow. Considering Peter's died multiple times, it's gonna be extra crucial for him to find some frags here and now so that he can afford that op moving forward. But Red Reserve to the 5-man stack. Still bringing something to the table despite not having guns. Maybe these double frag grenades can blast someone out of the water.
Yeah, we're going to see them dropped in right about now. Nades come through. They do some good work. Daps is right there with the Mag-10. Spots it all out, builds it all up. The money is his. Instantly gets put on 9K. You can see the money so swiftly being piled in for these guys, so they're in a great spot going forward. This is the stuff you dream of. You have a really, a back and forth start on the first map. You win it out, come into the second. Nice, clean first 3. Look good in it as well. Again, Daps playing good. I just want Pete to actually, really step up with that AWP. That's great. Fugly as well. He was having a good bit of impact in the last map. Red Reserve being a little quiet at this point.
Double Mag-10 play, though, so they're just going to keep up this pace. I mean, Peter does have that op, so there is still a pretty big investment. Nice wall of cover thanks to the smokes. ANJ hoping someone tries to push forward, and it will be Michaelelli coming in from Highway to catch that 5v4. But Breeze finding a response of his own already. Now, bomb's on site, but yet to be planted. He's not trying to force it. He's just standing in the open. That's an easy frag. Not even responding back. Quite awkward. Was now Peter down. Michaelelli gonna open up the site, and it's only Fugly left over. Sure enough, he's able to trade, but in a 1v2, can he get this done? He's got a minute and another target by his side, but 13 health is all that's left in his bank. Molotov forces the fight, and Rusty's gonna take it.
What was that round, though?
I don't know. Tech
was
pause?
that? Yeah, it might be, because he just kind of stood there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a tech pause. I'm kind of curious what the issue was. Because it was strange, it was just sat on that side. Breeze crashed? Was it Breeze? No, I don't
Yeah, it was Breeze.
Was it Breeze?
Yeah, it was the bomb carrier, most notably.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that changed the whole outcome or what came of that, but yeah, a bit of an awkward one. So yeah, they're gonna get an admin out there right now, just have a little look into it and see what's happening. Just need to get the game launched again. But yeah, it was all good, but then he just got stuck on the bomb site. But this play from Michaelelli, again, just showing the experience. He's put himself in really uncomfortable positions for the opponent. Not only playing around the edge of the smoke on Speedway, getting up towards a tree on any retake or anything like that on either side. And you're feeling it when that sort of happens. I think we might have to have the server kind of rehashed out at this point, but a little bit of an extended pause. But at 3-1, we've seen NRG looking more confident, and that's my main point about this one so far. Red Reserve are fine. They've been doing good. That was a nice bit of play from them in that round. They handled it well. But all said and done, it was still NRG looking like they just had a plan in mind and they're going for it. And I actually don't mind that. Like, I'm perfectly fine with them doing that sort of play where they're confident, they just play off the back of it, and NRG are making it stick.
I thought maybe we were going to see those MAC-10s try to hit up the drop down and then Peter go to plat with the op, but they all just kind of fixated out of long, and it worked. I mean, they did get the bomb on site. It's just a matter of actually planting it. Because that could have made a world of difference. But then again, I think Michaelelli makes an even bigger difference being boosted up towards that tree there. Like you said, making the entirety of the offense uncomfortable. And it's those kinds of heads-up play in the heat of the moment that really pans out. So excellently done, Red Reserve. You've done it. You've gotten one round on the board already.
But it's not that. Like I know the Red Reserve can get rounds on the board, right? That's fine. But it's more that I want to see their depth and how far they can actually go in this. Because it's when you hit a wall, it's the adaptation that you can bring back in. It's the, okay, we need to adjust this, this, and this. Or, okay, we go to this sort of look for ourselves. And when you're a team who depends a lot on, you know, raw ability and kind of that who's got that mouse? Is that? Ah, it's Peter, okay. Seeing those in this era is just great because they went out of service a long time ago, but big fan. I know my friends used to like stockpile them because it's hard to buy them anymore. But still, off that topic, it's just, yeah, I want to see what happens to Red Reserve when they get pushed a little tactically. I want to see how far they can go. Absolutely.
I also want to see more from the CT side. Again, that's where they kind of fumbled in that first map of Train. And it's always going to come down to a matter of like responses, right? We're going to have to see if NRG are able to just create a bit of variation on their own T side. Even when I think back to their T half on Train, it's not as though we had, you know, super complicated plays by them. It was just what they were doing was working. Very much the same to Red Reserve. It was pretty cookie cutter, but successful all at the same time.
Yeah, getting a little worried when players are out of seats. Sit back down, please. What is happening? But there is a admin behind him, so hopefully they can get this one fixed up soon. It looks like NRG is still having a couple of issues there. I'm not sure what is exactly the problem, but we can find out down the line for you guys and just see what's going on, because you don't want to lose that momentum. NRG are playing a good game here. They're playing pretty well overall. They're playing with, you know, nice pacing to it, good confidence, good individual ability. And just a quick update, it does seem as though just one of the PCs crashed, so that'll be back on nice and quickly, I can imagine. Shouldn't be out of this game for too long. But yeah, it's hard to bring much up when we've had, what, 4 rounds. So there's still so much to be seen here.
What I look forward to is the potential, there could be a potential double revenge. If NRG walks away with this series, we're going to get NRG versus CLG later today, but we're also already guaranteed KPI versus Envious. So that's how we actually opened up each of these groups. And that's how we would be closing them with the deciders. Still a lot of good games to happen, actually. I kind of feel like the length of our opening series makes me feel like it's later than it really is, but...
It's still pretty late. That was a long old game.
Yeah.
We've been here a while. Yeah, I think I'm getting Stockholm Syndrome at this point. I'm just, you know, really happy to be here with my captors. We're having a good time. But no, it has been good. We've got some good CS going so far. I think that if NRG do make it through this stage and they do get to play CLG again, I think their map pool will be called into question. I think even without I'm a Pet, CLG still have an upper hand on the map pool wise, and they know NRG to a decent degree. They're aware of their North American presence, so that becomes a little bit of the next factor, right? It becomes a bit of a problem for them down the line. And then the other one, if we get that KPI game, well, then, you know, it's all about, again, best of 3 depth. That's what you start looking at is, you know, best of 1s, those guys were good. They were really strong. Great train approach, good individuals. And just, you know, really gritty way of playing. They didn't drop the ball. They didn't let it go. But can they keep that up in a best of 3? Envy don't look flawless. They got taken pretty darn far. Let's be real. That best of 3 was not comfortable for them by any margin.
No, not at all. I mean, the fact of the matter is Misfits could have won that in 2-0 fashion.
Yeah.
And that was after, again, a 12-3 start in the opening map of Cobble. A 12-3 start, if I'm not mistaken, at most 11-4 is what they gave KPI as well. So they had that massive lead and then allowed it to swing back. So, I mean, even when we're watching Envious get these very, you know, great starts, it clearly isn't enough because those games are still being scraped down to the bottom of the barrel. And that's honestly really scary for Envious, especially when coming into the event, you had to help but wonder, you know, they just qualified for DreamHack Masters Malmo, literally the day before. They were looking kind of like, you know, resurging in form after that disappointing performance at the PGL Minor.
Yeah, they're a weird side, it feels, at the moment. You don't know where they stand. Overall, they still have great deals of potential. good ability, and you'd say coming into this event, they were one of the more favored sides.
Yep.
Pretty top-heavy in whichever group you're looking at. I think you could pick some North American teams to join them out there. There were some opportunities for other teams to certainly do some damage, but you know, if you look at their overall achievements, you'd say, all right, Envy, okay, they're going minimum top 2, 3, you know, easy stuff. Certainly could pick some others to join them around that. But the performances we've seen so far, I'm not all that convinced. I think we're seeing a lot of teams here in a state of flux. They've either just come off from a big event with either a disappointing result, or, you know, vice versa. You know, they're not in their strongest points, many of these teams, or a new player's been added. Like ANJ, for example, you saw him on your screen before for NRG. Michael Ailey, feet up, chilling out. They're all having a nice time. My feet aren't up. We're here, you know. Michael's chilling. Oh, see, that looks way more comfortable. But no, yeah, a lot of these teams are in a state of flux. Michael Ailey, obviously, coming towards Red Reserve, a bit of a headliner name with a team of, you know, way younger talent. You know, they get to learn. These are the perfect example of these events, and why generally, like DreamHack Open, you get to see a lot of young talent coming through. Especially, like, you know, you look at the Spanish scene, KPI. You know, they caused a huge upset, and wouldn't have been likely to see that unless we were here.
Here's the man, Fugly. Again, didn't really see much success or superb form from him since, like, the old Liquid days. Now it's nice to see him kind of leading the charge. At least he was on train. Again, I think it's very easy to forget about the depth of this roster on NRG.
Yeah.
Even Daps, another Canadian in-game leader, kind of being thrown to the forefront.
Yeah. And a little update from production is apparently they're getting there. It's almost time to get back into game. They might let us out of our box soon. Maybe, they say, if we behave. We'll see.
I feel like it's because Sean spilled water.
It is.
Now the hardware issues are coming to life.
Sadly, they're on the other side, but I like the idea of it. That made me happy. But yeah, Peter looking for a swing up in performance. He certainly deserves it. He's trying. You can see him trying to be more aggressive, more assertive in the way he's playing throughout this game. Cobble's not exactly easy to do that on. You can find great room for yourself. You look at players like Shazam had a brilliant game from Coop, playing around the map on the CT side. He was very, very good, very on point. But it's hard to be a difference maker, right? You're still at the very much the whim of everyone else. And Rusty as well, Train. Big map for him, good start he got off to. Thoroughly impressed with him and how much he was able to achieve working through Ivy. Great at it, couple of double kills coming out of that one. And how many individual players can we look at before the PC is ready? So far, we're at 8 maybe, maybe more. But yeah, it is all for that trophy. And of course, there's still another map to go if possible. It may happen. So, lots to be seen. Cobble is still the first real challenge now between these two. The first map, of course, did go to NRG, but it's best of 3s now, so you need to close out that second one. But NRG are looking good. They lost out in the gun round. Kept a little bit of the first couple of rounds guns over, so it's not the end of the world. They're still there. Michael Ailey was a game changer in that round, though.
Absolutely. Again, that boost up onto tree, one of those moments where it's just things are hitting the fan. You need to come up big with something, and it was Michael Ailey who called for the boost and was able to step up on an individual level. So that's kind of what you expect from him, honestly, in this roster. Like you said, younger talent all around him, and he's clearly an ex-ninja. So he brings that bit of validity and experience to this roster. I think that this player here on screen, Hampus, was also doing a very good job on train of playing individually. Yep. Multiple rounds, we kind of catch him like amongst smoke grenades and just kind of in the fray. Very frantic moments, but he was still able to come out with multi-kills. Impressive stuff.
Sure, at this point, if it doesn't start in the next 2 minutes, we'll just do a straight-up AMA. Just from right here. If you guys are in Valencia, you can come hang out. We'll do some interviews in the booth. We'll send Stunner out. We'll get Stunner out to just walk around events. He loves doing that. If anyone wants to try and run up and hug him, I wouldn't recommend it. It didn't go well for the last guy. But, you know, we can just send him out and about. We can have a nice time. It's all about cheerfulness here. And I still see a pause, but the headsets are going on. Maybe. Do it. Put the headset on. All right. Nice. That's a step in the right direction. Maybe Michael's feet will be off the table at this point. Who knows? We won't be treated to a game anytime soon. Not too sure. Looks like players are starting to get themselves ready again. Michael has indeed sat up, so everything is looking like we're in the right direction to actually play out the next couple of rounds. Because you know what I like? More pauses and more timeouts. That's what I would need here.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But no, hopefully it will be started up again. I do apologize for the delay, ladies and gents. It's not because we want it to be there. We'd like the game to be started, but we will be holding on until this one starts up. The players just get themselves prepared.
I think it was actually quite refreshing to see Breeze have such a great game as well over on Train. Notably just because, again, he's one of the young guns, he's one of the more unproven players, so that's always been fun to watch, but also because he did struggle on Overpass yesterday in their opening map versus CLG. We saw Fugly have to take his position and kind of, you know, lend that helping hand. And it was at that point NRG were able to get a couple more rounds, but here today he just showed up, a whole other beast. Able to just obliterate players on the pistol rounds, big multi-frags. Great stuff. You're laughing, Lauren. Have you lost it?
It'll get there. It just, you know, it's a little triggering. It's fine. I get all excited. I see the players, you know, it's when they sit up, they get into that, you know, little gaming posture, and then they slouch back in. I'm like, no, no. It was all looking so good. And then maybe not. I don't know what's going on. What can you say? We're 4 rounds into a best of 3 between NRG and Red Reserve. It's not easy to fill this time. So do you know what, guys? Are they readying up?
I'm seeing readies.
Oh, I was about to do the AMA, guys. You could have had any question with us here live from Valencia. We've had some paella. I saw some water. We went for a walk on the beach. Not just together. There was others there. There was some little dogs running around as well. People are out very late in this country, is what I've realized.
It's because it's just so incredibly warm the entire time. It's like midnight, and it still feels like a Canadian afternoon.
Very, very true. But believe it or not, it's real. I can promise you that. For now, we are back live into the game. It's 3-1. In case you forgot, Red Reserve managed to pick up the last round. They're able to turn it right on its head. But until that point, NRG were leading the pace. So keep that in mind going forward.
Nice little boost up over here towards long. It's going to be ANJ to just anchor things out. Hampus peppering down range. Molotov to the corner. Not going to be a problem for ANJ. Meanwhile, solid stack over towards long A. Nobody playing on the ramp. Nobody spotting door from, say, connector. Of course, they don't have that op on the side of Red Reserve like they do for NRG. Pete. Looking for something, looking for an aggression actually over towards A, but there's nothing. Nothing at all.
No, and Red Reserve falling out of holding drop actively, I don't really blame him. It's not necessarily a bad thing, you don't have to actively hold it, but be careful where you take the fight. Be aware of isolating yourself from your teammates, and trying to work back in was Rusty. Daps, very ready and waiting. And now Hampus is in a little bit of a predicament. There's possibly 5 players on the other side of that smoke. He has no idea. Just spray in, but Breeze, connection, perfect. And now Red Reserve down to 2. And this is looking like NRG, again, picking up where they wanted to leave off.
Interesting that once Peter gets to the B bomb site with the rest of his team, he swaps the op into the hands of Breeze. That was before he was tagged, I believe. Or maybe I'm wrong. It's just Bogdan's law, but regardless, Red Reserve still have those 2 players up. This is going to be a crucial save. I mean, these guys have been anchored over towards the A site since the beginning of this round. The world's just crumbling around them, and, well, they have their safe haven. Very crucial moment now for NRG to win this round, and then hard reset Red Reserve. I mean, this is exactly what happened on Train. Michael gets that 1 versus 1 clutch when he sticks the defuse in the smoke. And this time, oh, Daps is still able to clear 1, so it's Michael again, the only man moving forward. Now, reset, not a good look for Red Reserve.
No, but for NRG, it's confidence building. A little bit of a hiccup when you lose out that gun round. The first one that comes up, you're like, okay, maybe there's something here. No, right back on it, 4-1 now. Daps reading the economy well, straight into the Mac 10. Full utility too. Michael, of course, the only one to retain the gun. A little bit of an upgrade here or there to some P250s, a Deagle, but Daps is going quick on this. He wants to get this going. Peter's going to be put a little on notice, play back into the angle. And Freddy going to find Daps really easy. The next problem is that he can see the shadow before the play, but Breeze lands the shot. So everything works out in the end. 4v4.
Lax is just going to hold on to this close corner, reposition towards stables. We do see Red Reserve with 2 men inside of the drop down. Hoping to catch NRG off guard, but they've left their bomb outside of the A site. They have no rush in the world. Again, we saw this on Train, where even despite being versus pistols, NRG just went through all the motions, properly smoking things off, Molotoving corners, and really not allowing for that mistake to be made. This time, yet again, they do that.
Breeze starting to work his way up. Relax is the only one here, but even any damage is good. You're not hoping for much. It's very hard to make pistol rounds work on the CT side in this map. You saw, Virtus Pro used to do the kind of like mid-stack with like 5 players behind each other with just pistols, just standing there in a line trying to get anything away. It's not easy. They are starting to feel out the game, starting to put players in the right place. But Fugly might be able to offset that. If he makes a bit of noise or contact, that could be an issue. That could keep players where they are. But here we go. Here comes the play, and it's the P250. It relaxes his hands, pulling us to attention. And a swift turnaround here, just because Fugly's got so much room to work with. He should secure one of these 2 spots. He knows where one is in towards drop. Almost made it a little awkward there, but Rusty does eventually go down. Fugly now wants to watch the door. Tries to do everything for his side, but kind of forgets about Michael with the gun. But now it's just down to Relaxer with the rifle, but no armor.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a problem, especially now as the Molotov forces him away. So, another save from Red Reserve. They're going to get that 1 gun moving forward unless NRG can clear it, but right now, ANJ and Peter just both anchoring site. So, as expected, we watch NRG walk away with another round. Unfortunately for Red Reserve, they still don't have enough cash to invest in the next. It's going to be a little matter of time.
Yeah, but this is good for NRG. This is enough to build up their economy as well. Put themselves in a good position going forward. Confidence being beside them, this is what you need. And we know that Red Reserve can grind rounds. We know that they can have those players go off in individual moments that can certainly turn around on its head. So incredibly important that that works out for them. And on the other side, let's see what Red Reserve can afford or what they go for here. Still have Relaxer on the rifle, but everyone else, just maybe a P250 or 2, yeah. Buying down to around 3K minimum if you don't want to dip too much below that, Freddy. On 2.3 now. Deagle. And it looks like it's not quite the 4-1 that I was kind of expecting there. ANJ going to quicken the pace here, hit fast towards B. Mollies are out. Rusty, though, still to find 1.
Oh, and a second. Breeze just immediately popped. That smoke grenade executed from NRG, not going to help him out. At least Fugly's able to find 1 frag, but now that's Rusty with the retrieved AK. He's looking for the 4th. This could be the ace. He's got still 5 shots in the mag at a target in front, but Peter gonna shut him down. So, with another shot, Pete can still do this. He needs to get this kill up close, and he's got the damage dealt, but no frag just as of yet. Goes for the re-peek, and it costs him. Red Reserve pulling one out of nowhere.
Hey, look, I was a big fan of Rusty on the first map. It seems like he's back on it with this one. Good positioning on this. They did actually check on it. That's the more impressive part. ANJ checked, but Rusty was such a nuisance in this spot, and no one was able to trade him out. Very, very impressive stuff from him. And it's gotten right back into this. Double AWP now comes to play for Red Reserve. We have a game on our hands, maybe. Actually, this goes to a 3rd. Smoke goes in. It's a long way back into this, though.
Immediately, though, NRG are just going to change back that pace. Much more passive. Much more patient. Michael wants to duel, but he loses half his health in the process. Relaxa able to opt down Daps and almost through the smoke. Could have got another. Breeze on gun control.
Michael next up to the challenge. Considering ANJ is so close by, could go either way. Michael Ailey's not considering this, which is a little bit problematic. He's going to back from this, I think. Molly deep. ANJ still gets away with this. They're really not expecting him at this sort of point. Fire finally comes in. Good flash too, but now they're aware that this is a possibility. And more than that, ANJ lands the shot. Hampus does reply, but we're down to 4v3. There's still an advantage here for the CT side.
They got 40 seconds to work this bomb in, but instead the bomb works away. Breeze able to nearly get away with his life, but Freddy furthers himself into that commitment. And he will take himself the kill. So, do we find NRG executing into A before the reinforcements arrive? Red Reserve, they've got 2 players towards connector, but it's still just Freddy Frog. Peter and Fugly, they need to commit here. They've got 15 seconds, but now the bomb is dropped. Freddy with confirmation, just needs to stay alive. And Fugly is going to be desperate to get in here. Able to duel versus connector and over towards Balk. Had he hit that shot, who knows? But Hampus gets the best of him, and Red Reserve with another round. No reset this time around. No,
they've got the sustain now. They're starting to build back into this. They at least keep the money up pretty decently too. I'm going to slowly rip it away from NRG, who might be left in a bit of a predicament here, but you could see around where a world where that goes differently. Hampus, though, great positioning from him to be able to make that count in the end by finding ANJ. If he got away with that, that could have been Michael down. That could have been a lot worse, but no. 5-3. And the Tech-9's galore. Straight down drop, it looks like. Rusty flashed up, forced off the angle, jumped through. Here we go. Good work from Daps to connect. And instantly, Freddy is here, ready and willing and waiting. Relaxer joins in as well, is now just Fugly left alive. Tough to play back into this. And there it is, shut out by the double AWP.
Excellently done. Red Reserve certainly making a game. Already almost tying things up. Just 1 round down. Again, we find these kill spreads quite top-heavy. Breezy, 12 and 5. Daps just behind him. But nobody should be competitive in this one. NRG just to the pistols.
Yeah, this isn't Envy. This is not where you see Deagles, P250s, and stuff like that doing all the work. Relaxer, though, taking a lot of damage. Michael Ailey showing him how it's done. Smoke goes up. Red Reserve retain dominance. Michael Ailey again strikes. Strikes true. 2 kills, dominating this side of things. Encourages Fugly to drop down to try and even the odds and maybe get one back, but no. Rusty keeping good eyes on this.
Very good damage control here from Red Reserve. They might actually walk away with a single casualty. Unless Freddy Frog gets popped in the mouth, but no. He gets himself the kill. So Breeze with a Deeg. Trying to do something. Very desperate for success. Little artillery comes in. Poor old Breeze goes down. Let's relax it with the op shot to connect it out and tie things up at 5 apiece. So this CT side here from Red Reserve starting to get its legs underneath it.
It's getting there. This is when you start considering a 3rd map in the back of your mind. But then NRG still have that CT side. Still a lot to be seen. We haven't seen much of a switch up from NRG yet. And Breeze is doing well, but last time he had a couple more players with him. He had a couple more players doing some damage, and Relaxer going to see at least 1 hit. See the spray from another. Going to have to call for some support. That's Freddy on the way. Smoke goes in. And this was a massive alien from NRG to start with.
Yeah, literally just every single player grouped up outside these doors. Desperately wishing that someone from Red Reserve would overstay their welcome. Overstep their boundaries. Fully flashed is Freddy Frog, but that's not going to stop him from dealing damage. ANG will still best him, escaping with 7 health. And then all of a sudden, there's just this display of grenades on the bomb site all around it. Rusty's unable to get into cover. Peter starts to push in through smoke. If he can find around the corner, that's where Relaxa off the sidearm takes him. So this is still the 3v3, and Relaxa with 8 health swaps back to the op, finds 1 more. And the T's are ever so close. Breeze with the trade frag, but only 2 HP and 2 targets to find.
Not today, Breeze. Michael Ailey going to take Red Reserve into the firm lead here. Starting to build themselves away from NRG, who seem to have hit a little bit of a brick wall. Those double orbs doing very well for them. 2 very powerful players, of course, split between the sites. Very hard to find a route into an avenue of approach, and buying down to around 2k now, NRG. Daps a little lower, but not the end of the world. Fugly going to set up the piece here, it looks like. See where they're going to go with these smokes. What are going to be put into play? A couple of them already go down, 1 in return. And ANJ trying to find his way through that sort of darkness.
Michael Ailey posted up, just going to allow the players to flood into the bomb site. Rusty sectioned out at this point. Hampus, he's fully flashed, so now Michael Ailey needs to control this. And his shot goes wide, so Rusty instead comes to bail things out. He's able to catch 1 kill, but Needs more than just that. Breeze and Daps, they take the B site. It's been cleared out now. It is just Relaxa. Pistols only for NRG. And they get the 3v1. Damage further dealt, but Relaxa up close with another. And only 2 players left here. 20 HP is not much to play with, but that op certainly is. Needs to get the man from behind the stone. That could be the difference, but he's decided he's had enough. He's going to fight another day, move that op forward to the next one.
Yeah, I don't know what happened then. Maybe miscommunication, bit of a breakdown there on some part for Red Reserve. Michael Ailey not even worried about that broken wall piece. I guess it was someone else's job at that point, but it didn't seem to be relayed to the players by drop, and something went wrong with the communication, it felt, in that round, as you shouldn't be able to get that much of an advantage for free. And there it is, back all even now, 6-6. Red Reserve got to be careful with the money, but they built up a little bit of bank here, not much. They should be able to fashion together some form of buy here. But yeah, this is when it all got a little bit interesting at the end. Push up towards the door, and lovely shot here. This is the one that's impressive when he jumps up towards the window. Point blank, not a hope in hell. But yeah, still enough money with Red Reserve to get a good buy, but you can see the money going to start to dwindle after that. Relaxer again gets off to a good start. He is outdoing these 8 players.
Yeah, great play to just wait for the flashbang, and then the moment the flash pops, he just goes for the peek, expecting to catch a man in the open. Of course, Peter's just sailing through the sky at that point. His corpse goes flying a moment later, but it's the man advantage here for Red Reserve. Michael yet again towards the coop, and targets yet again towards Plat from NRG. Bomb down in Museum, and of course this offense split. So no commitment can be made just as of yet. Not everyone in position.
No, it looks very much like an A split from NRG. Unless these 2 players switch something up here. Just considering where the bomb is, they might actually fall off this just because they don't have the player advantage, or at least even numbers. So Bree's going to work out through danger. No one's actually in towards middle. It's a double stack towards long to a degree. You can see Freddy playing over by the tree. He can fall off this, but he has to be careful to not... As soon as Relaxer falls off this angle, he becomes incredibly vulnerable. So you've got to be a little aware of that. Bree's starting to work his way up. Got to be careful just around that corner. There is a player, so he's going to hear these steps, and Relax is going to be ready. He connects towards Daps, backs away. He's got support. He doesn't fall all the way back. Great follow-up shot from Relaxer, and waits for more.
Oh, that's a 4K. What a beautiful headshot. It is just down to Fugly. He's in his crosshairs, but Freddy Frog will sweep it away. Great op play from Relaxa in that round. A very crucial 4K. Cool, calm, and collected. Look at that, just fades away with a moment. Goes back for the peak. This shot right here. Woo. Poor ANJ, never sees it coming. Gets slammed against the wall. And Red Reserve will take that 1-point lead.
I'm really impressed with Relaxer. His individual ability is outstanding. This could be a problem, though. He needs that player in danger to come up with the goods, and it's Freddy. He needs to lock down his back, support his teammate, and he is. He's doing it brilliantly, and the sports arrive. Michael Ailey is there as well. It's all worked out. Breeze and Fugly now. Left backs to the wall. Limited options, limited chance. And I don't see this one working out.
Ooh, hits the man to the backside, and Fugly follows suit. So, Relaxa again, just locking down long A. Time and time again. Greatly done. Red Reserve going to double that 1-point lead. 8-6, 1 round left. Now, of course, we are pretty much par for the course as to where we were on Train. We see this very back and forth type game on the CT side of Red Reserve, or in that case, it was the T half, excuse me. But regardless, it was the switching of the sides that allowed NRG to just run away with things. So we can't get ahead of ourselves, but at least Red Reserve, despite losing that first map, have bounced back formidably.
A lot of utility poured away from Red Reserve early. You could see the smokes coming in. Maybe a little unnecessarily, but they get them up anyway. Got to be a little bit careful. Have some of that reserve in these rounds. Otherwise, you get left with very little when the hit comes in. They're still fine. They've still got mollies and flashes. You can see NRG preparing themselves. Fugly waiting maybe for a flash in or a smoke. A&J needs to play back out towards Plat. There is still a player there as well. Hampus, I think, is playing on the stairs. Freddy playing outside drop. Red Reserve not really committing early here.
Then again, neither's NRG. They're toying with the idea of playing drop down. Now they're going to fall. Fugly tries to cover the drop sound. Seems like Freddy's not falling for that. Mikulele trying to clear corner, but there's nobody there. It's Peter on the entry with this AWP. It's going to be a very tough shot for him onto Hampus, but at least he is just creeping around this corner.
If only they knew how close they were.
It's a game of centimeters. And there we have it. Peter up close, goes down to the M4. Hampus going to find it, but ANJ at least able to take out on Plat. He is, of course, sitting on 13 health now and a 1v3. He's just going to be desperately trying to plant the bomb. Will successfully do so. Can he take a couple more kills with him, or will he find this 1v3 ace clutch? Tall order. Takes at least another headshot. Rusty and Freddy Frog. And it's going to be Rusty to get the best of him. So the 9-6 score for Red Reserve, 3-point lead at the end of the first half.
It's pretty solid, to be fair. We've got to see if Red Reserve can do the same thing coming into the second half. But you can see it. Mikulele's starting to understand, like, all right, that's okay. That's good enough. That's a good beginning for us. That's a solid basis. The doubles weren't really ever answered. NRG never quite found a way to answer them or get past them. Rusty had a good couple of moments as well. We saw, decent performance from NRG, just not strong enough, not with enough answers to what Red Reserve were bringing.
I think the start NRG had as well, though. They did have that pistol round going for them, so that's half their rounds in a pistol and conversion. Red Reserve really swinging it back in the following 12. And again, I'm still getting flashbacks to that first map where they changed the half. The whole flavor changed.
Yeah, Cobble's hard to predict like that, though. I don't know how much the mastermind there, sitting on their side, can actually bring up on this. How much can you change around? Red Reserve, can you punish them? The T side, it was decent, to be fair. I can't say much about it. It was quite simplistic, but it was decent.
Yep.
The firepower did well. But NRG, gotta have more in mind. Here we go. So, Red Reserve on the T side now. 9-6, they've got the advantage. Can they actually stick with it?
Red Reserve just forfeiting any kind of a B play. ANJ is on platform, though, so he's going to be spotting this out. Peter peeks and prize as well, but here comes the hit. Red Reserve, they're just going to start charging up ramp, thinking they have it opening, and they do. Breeze just half behind the wall, still alive somehow, but Rusty's going to trade it eventually. Daps removed from the side of APC, leaves Pete coming in from ramp, and then, of course, ANJ on that long flank, but Peter could be unexpected. Either way, Hampus deals with the first flank. Peter's going to be here. And ooh, Hampus, great pistol play with those 2 quick headshots. Leaves it just down to Fugly. While 3 of these players are tagged, there's 4 opponents in front of him.
Good luck, Fugly. Don't know how much he's going to get out of that. Not much. Even though they were tagged, he is kind of screwed in that situation. So Red Reserve getting that start they need to close this out cleanly, but knowing this game will be back and forth, maybe double OT, maybe triple. Who knows? Both teams don't want to let this one go. Of course, that third map looms. Cash, classically a good Swedish map, but also we know the North Americans love Cash. It's basically all you ever play on ESDA, so, they get some fair practice on it. Deagles are out. NRG gonna try and take something away. A couple of UMPs on the other side, and 3 rifles, a Galil being one of them too, so still relatively reserved purchase-wise.
I think one of the things that Red Reserve was doing really well in this opening map was playing these sorts of anti-ecos. Both teams, actually, never really running into pistols all too much, but ANJ is going to start this off with a Deagle headshot to Mikulele.
You can see them wanting more here. That's Fugly going back in on the challenge with ANJ now. It's not really moving, Red Reserve. They're still kind of going through their plan. Molly down drop. No one's actually there. One player towards the site, but NRG are just playing for picks. They're just leaving it straight up to that.
They're starting to filter their attention back towards A. That's where we saw them get bottlenecked in the last one. It's going to be old Pete still on long. Of course, Daps is now rotating over, coming to join forces. So again, if you can hold on to long A and allow Red Reserve to get to that bomb site, well, surely they're going to take the ramp, but you can pinch them. You can prevent their after plants from being of their own choosing. And now Breeze with a Deeg headshot, that's ever so crucial. Look at this, T-side getting pinched. Lots of damage being dealt, lots of frags being found. 5v2. Hampus bailing his team out a little bit, but they don't have the bomb and they're pinned in the cubby.
Yeah, what is the plan, Hampus there? Just runs out of the corner, no ability to trade, and they get this back. 3 recovered rifles, some nice upgrades. All right, fair enough. That's the round you lose out of all of them you've been playing. Interesting choice is Breeze finding some really nice room to play in this. And there's the follow-up as well. And now, well, they get a free upgrade. They get a nice free upgrade, actually. Getting 3 rifles for free is really nice. 2 AKs, thank you, Lil. They're going to buy up 1 M4 and a UMP. Plenty investment, and all very good. Peter, what are you up to? Runs right into it. Deagles are on board. And he hands one of those rifles right back over to him.
Yeah, Relaxa just puts Peter to sleep. And that 1 rifle is now in the hands of Mike Lele.
Now the CT side's going to have to split themselves up. 2 per site, or however they feel they may want to approach this, but no matter what, you're at a huge player disadvantage. Always feels uncomfortable, even when you do have the gun advantage, but 1-to-1, Daps certainly doesn't with Michael Ailey, as he does have the rifle to hand. However, time will start to tick, and they will need to get a little bit of a wiggle on the T side. They have some smokes to play, they've got a flash or 2, some mollies, so they can leave it relatively late, but it looks like an explosive hit through long. They're just going to kind of barrel out together. No one's actively watching this. Breeze is there, but now he's seen it. Molly goes in, he needs to adjust. Takes his time on the way around. Relax, though, finds Daps, and this is where it all goes wrong. Breeze, you've got to do so much here. He's overwhelmed, he can't do it, and as if you lose this round, NRG. How can you drop this? You had every opportunity. And now bomb planted, 2 players on the retake. Unlikely they even get to go for this. With Fugly so low now, might be just time to back away.
Oof, back and forth we go. Red Reserve doing to NRG what was done to them. All thanks to the fact that they're able to get up long A. Why do they get up long A? Because Peter dies in the opening 5 seconds. Tries to get aggressive and instantly punished for that. You'd think, of course, if you're going to go for some kind of an aggression like that, play it off of a lower flashbang. Have your team down below to try and peek like that. You're not the team that needs to be taking risks if it is just versus pistols. But he does. And oh my goodness, Relaxa. 12 points of health.
That's 4 for him. He could find an ace here. Not much time for it, but still, really nice play from him. He's starting to come into it. You saw his ulping ability on the first half. He is really delivering here.
That's him right there, for those of you unfamiliar with Red Reserve. Of course, qualify. Ooh, my goodness, he was blind. Because why not? 2 shots, 2 kills. 3 shots, 3 kills.
Not bad.
We didn't get to see the 4th, but I'm sure it was glorious regardless. At least Fugly has a gun.
Silver lining.
Yeah, thin one.
Yeah. No utility, nothing, just a couple of Deagles, P250, and an M4. 7-11. This could turn out to be a very late evening, so if you guys are here watching online, if you're here in Valencia, get yourself ready. Crack a can of Monster. Get ready for a very late evening of CS if this keeps up, but A&J Deagles down Hampus. What is that timing he found there, just to walk on out and Deagle him just on the weapon switch? Rusty now, wants in on the action. A&J finds another. Good work. But this should be controlled now. This shouldn't spiral out of any sort of proportion.
Again, that key word of should. Fugly could still duel here, but Rusty will retreat. Good call. Group yourselves back together and then just try to play this man advantage. I mean, if there are any guns in the hands of NRG, if there's any risk here that Red Reserve aren't aware of, the likelihood of everyone having one is slim to none. A little jumpy on the trigger. But regardless, Reserve start to execute out. Nice use of the Molotovs and the frags to soften and clear targets. But it's actually Breeze on the site. He's still looking for a Deeg, and the man crossing to drop's been dealt with. That's Relaxa down. Breeze still up here looking for more, but Rusty and Michaelelli combined for 2, leaving Daps on his lonesome. Of course, Michaelelli heavily hit. Daps creeping in, but Rusty finds the headshot. Red Reserve find the round, and that's a 5-point lead to the T side.
Yeah, they're building lead here. They're building momentum. They're having fun. Seeing Michaelelli just, you know, having fun with it. The other guys as well. It's a good thing. You've got this young team, not used to this sort of stage, this environment. Probably played at a couple of DreamHacks before, you know, worked their way through and eventually get to the play on the big stages. It's all about having fun with these guys. You get them relaxed and just kind of doing what they normally do online. That's where you get a scary team. That's where things start to actually come really into this one. But at 12-7, there's still a chance of recovery here for NRG, but it's slim. It is very slender here now. Do have the ult back on Peter, but he's been quiet with it. Limited economy as we have a UMP out on Fugly. On the other side, a Mac 10 for Hampus wanting to build that bank. No head armor, of course, coming out for NRG.
Nice deep smoke grenade blocks off the op. You mentioned this earlier. We have been seeing more and more aggression towards platform on the CT side. Cobblestone, historically, just very tough to take these kinds of aggressions. So nice to see NRG have that in their playbook. But where do they go from here? Because they're not actually pushing themselves all the way up. They're just clearing it and then falling further back. Once that smoke fades, we could see Red Reserve reposition. In the meantime, they're hitting drop down with not just Mac 10s, but also utility. Daps hits the headshot. That's Hampus. Removed. And 36 points of health left for Daps as he holds on to the only 2 bits of utility.
Where are they all going? NRG, get 1 kill. Let's go A.
Just run.
Where are you off to? Why must you be like this? ANJ is just praying for help. He's got Breeze back with him. The other 2 players do eventually rotate through, but they're already out. Molly comes in. There's no flash. There's no smokes to put this out. He's burning alive in there. ANJ still finds Freddy, but by this point, it's down to them just landing shots. They're playing a very strange game, NRG. I'm not too sure what they're up to, but it's kind of worked out this round, and it probably shouldn't have. Relax, they're going to punish, though. 2 players left against him. No time really to play this. They don't need to play into it. He can't particularly get a plant. And Breeze waits it out. But yeah, I didn't like the mass exodus from drop after getting 1 kill. It's like, all right, guys, let's just go A. Oh, good plan. Good plan. 8 rounds.
Making it happen. ANJ had a very impactful round this time open. I mean, he's standing just fully exposed there in front of Coop, still winning duels. But more importantly, NRG not just keeping this lead at 4, giving themselves a fantastic chance to win this next one as Red Reserve have the double AK play. Michaelelli just comes charging through the flames. Because he's slightly crispy, it's an easy frag for Fugly. Still damage dealt, Fugly on 40. But at least the man advantage here in the hands of NRG.
What can they do with this? What's the read coming through? There's no one really playing close by from NRG. They're playing pretty deep to the site. Got Peter there watching middle. Should be able to see one. Maybe land it. Spots out a shoulder. No. Second guy makes it through now. He's going to put Daps in a weird predicament. He's not safe either. He's now worried about Long as well. Peter stays around here, hoping for a connection. It's Daps to do it. Peter, please, hit the shot, my man. Nothing. It doesn't come through, and now they're on the site. Bomb's on its way as well. This could all go very wrong, and it is. Hampus going to find Peter. Put him out of his misery more than anything after that round. As now Hampus going to have to find 3. Not going to get it. But it gets far too close for comfort again. NRG build back in, but a great deal of cost and very, very close situations.
Just wouldn't be a good game if that wasn't the case. That's what we've had thus far. Very back and forth this series has been, barring that second half on train. But I'm glad we're not seeing that here again. I just noticed that Peter still only has 4 frags in this map. Meanwhile, you got a guy like Breeze topping at 24.
Breeze turned up today.
Yep.
I'm thoroughly impressed. We didn't get to see much of it yesterday, if I'm honest. Yeah, everyone from NRG was quite quiet. There wasn't a big performer. They had a tough game. But Breeze is really impressing. Some very impressive kills the way he's playing this one out. Bit of an off angle there for Daps. And Peter not going to find it in middle, goes back in with the molly. Now needs to be careful. Here comes the rush. Oh no, Daps gets dinked. It's a bit of a problem. Peter needs to step up to task, and he gets taken down by the Glock. Daps now fighting his way out, tooth and nail. 2 HP is all he has, and Hampus gets himself an AWP. This could be problematic. He knows there's a player to his right. He tries to wallbang. This ain't 1.6. You're praying that that works.
Just trying to bait the peak at this point. Hampus getting a little desperate. He's got 1 shot left, and he hits the no-scope, swaps to the Glock, and bursts him down, blasts him away. If only he had that bomb. Hampus with 35 seconds still to play with switches to the AK. Now Daps only has 2 points of health. He's desperately clinging on to life. Luckily Fugly's here to support, and that's all it takes. So NRG with another round, they get themselves to double digits and curb the lead down to 2, where now Red Reserve will buy once more. It is AKs on the table, grenades to boot, and NRG with a buy of their own, including that op on Peter. Luckily, he's able to kill Relaxa on the entry. Sure, he gets traded right back, but 1 frag was at least the minimum.
Do you realize how similar the logos look next to their names? I just stared at the Red Reserve one for a while going, oh, that's a weird way to spell NRG. Just very similar color palette. Hit that point for me at this conjecture. I prefer the pinker red from NRG than the Red Reserve red. We'll have to have your thoughts afterwards if you want to just mull it over. Give us a review. Relaxer. Coming back around. He was an integral part in the turnaround that we saw and the resurgence from Red Reserve.
Could be a nice 5-man split into the A site. Could be hampered by ANJ. Playing on Humpty Dumpty. Bit of a one and done though. Of course, if he's able to just deal with Hampus, he can fall forward onto the ramp, and then all of a sudden he becomes an anchor and can prevent that cross from occurring. Molotov starts to burn out Hampus. He is going to get tagged down to 21. Daps near lines too, but now the defense falls. Fugly has to get in position, has to watch this cross. He's trying desperately for a frag, and he catches the head of at least Rusty. Still so much damage dealt, but the bomb's been planted. Red Reserve on site.
With Relaxer and Hampus so low, though, this does become slightly viable. Michael Ailey is not low at all, though. He wants to fight, he can sustain it. And NRG just need to land some shots. Breeze, Peter, where are you? This is so possible for you guys. Relaxer's just toying with his meal here at this point. And there it is, shut down, 4 alive. As low as they may be, they get a bomb plant and a very clean round, all considered. So for me, I've got to say that Red Reserve are going to pick this up eventually. I don't know why, but I just have a feeling that I watch NRG play, they just don't look confident. They look a little disjointed. It doesn't look like they win retakes. They don't play back into rounds. If the first player doesn't quite get it done, if the contact doesn't quite go as well, we're just not seeing it turn back around here. So back in we go. There's that little spree, those 3 rounds for NRG, and now the money's depleted. It's going to be back to the wargaming, or it's map 3 for them. And they know it. Just that deagle with ANJ. The rest, just on the normal pistols.
Can't help but wonder how tempting this buy would have been. Again, it was 3 consecutive rounds for NRG, 1 now for Red Reserve, so that reset would have been wondrous. Regardless, it's a very slight investment, just the $700 of a Deeg. Near bare bones minimum. And then yet again, Red Reserve just playing quite cautiously, not trying to overstep any boundaries, not trying to get caught, but they are being flanked right now. Michael is going to create some space forward, but Relaxa goes down. That's Fugly and Peter to combine here. Now, of course, ANJ's right behind, so that's now the kill. The op retrieved and Breeze from sight trying to deal damage, but all kills found for Red Reserve and a 14th round as well.
They are right on the verge of this one. Could get this done very soon. 14-10. I do wonder what the analysis desk will have to say about this. And yeah, timeout comes in. Vendetta loves a game like this. He'll be breaking it down for hours. A lot to be said about these two teams. Individually, got to say, very impressed with some of the members on Red Reserve. It's not just Michael Ailey either. Obviously, you expect a high standard from this guy, and you normally get it. He doesn't normally fail to deliver. He's consistent, he's smart, and he's good at it. You can kind of depend on him, right? He's got that little flair, he's got that pizzazz that everyone likes to see. But it's not just him, it's the others who I've been really impressed. Relaxer was a game changer.
Yep.
He came into it and just turned the game on its head. NRG came through like, okay, they're looking confident the first couple of rounds, and he wakes up, he gets an AWP, he gets going. Things aren't looking so hot anymore. So I am so impressed with that guy. But now NRG on the other side, Breeze. What a headline player for him.
Yeah, exactly. Again, and a real breakout in comparison to yesterday. Had you asked me who was going to come to life, I really wouldn't have given it to him. He kind of didn't show us much, but this time around, really showing today.
Yeah, this tactical timeout going to be coming to an end pretty soon. It is NRG's. They're the ones who feel that they need a reply to what Red Reserve have been throwing out, but it's not easy to come up with these things. Not on the fly.
I think that as much as I always hate to just say throw a single individual under the bus, I think it's no coincidence that the opping of course, Relaxa has completely nullified Peter and put him at 5 frags so far this game. Winning the duels over towards long A when we see Relaxa get aggressive. The op presence from Red Reserve has just been much more present, much more dominant.
Yeah, Peter not having the big impact game here, sadly. Not quite his time yet in the sun, but there's only so many opportunities you're going to have left. You kind of need to make these moments happen for you no matter what the situation is. Plenty of opportune moments. We know that, you know, Red Reserve aren't exactly this hyper-tactical, very passive team. They'll play a quick game. They'll take these fights. So you should be able to find some room, but just maybe not feeling out the game. Something doesn't feel quite right. Whatever it is, needs to get over it. It's time to go 14-10. The buy comes in for NRG, and it is far from good. It's upgraded pistols, it's a bit of armor. And that's all they can afford. On the other side, it's brilliant, it's lovely, it's filled out. Everything you'd want on the T side now.
Could have bought more, but NRG clearly looking to contest OT. And I respect that. Only 5 rounds away. It's going to be a very difficult 5 rounds, certainly.
Gonna go for the boost up on long. Don't mind it, something new. Allows the other player to play towards danger or the doorway by danger, depending on how they want to do it. In theory, you're hoping that the rotate can get towards door by the time that they start to cross, so you don't just get completely pinched. But in these sort of rounds, you're just getting what you can, really. You're not expected to win them. But Dap's really going to find Relaxer. That's a big scalp to claim. And Peter, a little late to the party then, but he gets the job done. That's all he can ask. Gun recovered now as well. Breezed on towards Michael Ailey, and now it's down to Rusty and Freddy. Where is this round just gone for Red Reserve? They do have the bomb planted, and Freddy's in a good spot here. He can stop this if he plays it right. No one considers it. What goes on? Daps! He falls by the wayside. Another challenge, but they play it out at the same time. They play it out correctly, and they will get it done. The defuse comes through. It's going to be 11-14 now. NRG building back into this.
And who is it yet again? It's Breeze with a 3K in this round.
Yep.
Rotates over as quick as can be. NRG with a very convincing win considering their investment there. Just those pistols.
Yeah, the blind faith coming through that smoke as well. You just got to go on it, support your teammate. But Breeze, MVP for NRG here. Without him doing what he's been doing, I don't see them even getting to this point in game. He has turned the buy back around to their favor too. They've got a decent purchase this time. Peter back on the AWP. Good utility beside them. But let's see how they play this one out. So far, who's up on long? It will be Peter on the other side of this. This is where you need a big moment from him. He's got 3 possible players going down towards him. But the problem is when Dap says, I've lost control by danger, Peter needs to fall back. They lose control. So that little one move from one of the Red Reserve players means they have to fall back. They lose information here. But that's going to draw over Fugly as well. So if they go for that rotate Red Reserve, you can see just that little bit of a test in towards it. Might win them so much. Again on the boost we go. And this is so dangerous to play with.
Of course, last time we saw that boost, the entirety of the A-site just crumbled. Red Reserve ran away with things. NRG obviously hoping that this time around it works out better. As now Red Reserve, having cleared out long A, having taken that map control, have just shifted their attention elsewhere. A&J spotting the smoke, just starts to pummel it with some shots. Red Reserve so ready to push this.
They're in a good spot too as well. Fugly's the only one really by drop, and he can't control the other side of it. He has to come all the way around towards Rock, and now they can pressure by the window. They don't have this under wraps completely at all, and there it is, Red Reserve. Break on through. Fugly, though, sprays in. That's 2 kills back, but there's still a player advantage. They're going to get that bomb down, and I don't see them stopping this. Daps and Peter, show me what you're made of, because I'm not a believer at this.
It would be a very difficult retake. At least they've got some utility to assert themselves with. Red Reserve have nothing left over at this point other than the AKs. Peter just trying desperately to connect a shot here. Daps gets flashed in. He will find Hampus. And now they're going to get a bit more space. Molotov to the back of Coop's going to clear it out. And of course, both T's currently towards Plat. Michaelelli playing as an anchor as yet another smoke will plume. But Peter, he's been able to find one frag, and Michaelelli sprays from both. Finds Red Reserve another round. That's OT secured, and 4 map points for NRG to fight with.
Honestly, unless Breeze just gets his backpack on, puts his team right on in there, I don't see it happening. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I just don't see it. They have not had that consistent sort of impact, right? It's like NRG, they'll do well every now and then. You'll see that kind of pinnacle, you'll see that peak, but then it's like, how do we replicate this? How do we make this happen every time? Peter forced off the angle. Nades come through. We do have a double AWP here for NRG, so A&J up on that one, but a glass cannon. And Fugly looking for some CT-side aggression, but you can already see on the other side, Freddy, he's been playing this angle. He's been jump spotting that. He's been watching it from the back lines. And Hampus is there too. Hampus waiting for the flash. You can turn it and do it. Oh, that's just gutting. It's just a pre-fire. It's just, maybe he's there. Maybe it's just someone peeking on the boost. No, it's a whole player boosted up, so that's an even bigger problem. That could encourage them just to go now towards drop, apply more pressure. Yeah, Breeze plays into it. He's been outdone, outgamed, Red Reserved. Very much on the verge here of closing this one out.
That would, of course, take us to Cash, the 3rd map of this series. Red Reserve seem to have survived this 2nd test, but it's not over yet. 4 rounds still to be found as A&J gets forced back into the coop. Calling for reinforcements as the T side continues in. Freddy Frog peppers him down. Hampus comes in with the flank, and it's Rusty with the kill. So Daps on a CZ in a 1v5. I just can't help but think this one's over.
I tend to agree. Daps, where do you want to take this? Or just offer yourself to the gods. There it is, takes the white peak. It's Rusty to close it down, but a lot of the individual players for Red Reserve, I am so impressed with. Really enjoyed watching their gameplay. I think NRG had those moments, they came in confident, but it depleted very quickly. We're going to all 3 maps in both games here.
Why not?
Why not?
Counter-Strike.
Bit of Cash. Bit of Cash coming up next. I'm looking forward to Cash, actually.
Yeah, I think that that's going to kind of like maybe open up a bit more opportunity for certain players to try and step up. Makes a bit more of a more, you know, aggressive T and CT side. So no longer will people be stagnated inside of the B Cobble site, but they'll be able to just do as they please.
Yeah, so it does seem as though the players are going to take a second to step outside, take a breath. It's been, you know, quite the marathon so far of a game. It's not a short one. These guys are playing for all 3. So again, they're going to take a moment's time. They're going to get themselves focused up for that 3rd map, which will be Cash. So do stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment's time.